Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at @GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/GoldenBoot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good, man? Nice Monday night.
What's happening?
Not much, man. Not much. Want to open the show up, man. Even though it's Ole Miss, shout out to UAB, former UAB assistant Coach Yo.
You're missing a little.
UAPB. What I say? UAB.
Yeah.
UAB. My bad.
Former UAPB assistant.
UAP.
Coach Yo. Yeah.
Coach Yo, man. She's always been she's a favorite, man.
That little speech after the game, this for everybody with a dollar and a dream. Unless she was talking to me, man.
Everybody with a dollar and a dream. What about a penny in a dream? 50 cents.
I just got my tax, so I got $1. Hey, that's all I got is one.
You got taxes back. No comment, man. No comment.
I got a lot of dependents, man.
Well, it look like the government is dependent on me. So
see them. Hey, they come in handy every now and then. You know, yeah, when you need the remote, when you need the light turned off, income tax time, they come in handy every now and
then. Yeah, I know. Alexa, order me some more dependents. What's good, cousin? What's good, cousin Nikki? Cousin Nikki in the building. Chuck checking in from Monroe Fun Row.
My God.
Hey, I do want to start out. You know what I'm saying? I know we talked about Coach Yo. Our parents were in attendance too, man. It was dope. I know we were talking about it during the game. During the show yesterday. Man. I really, really I was watching that game, man, going crazy, man. I was like, man, come on, pull it off.
It's crazy. They didn't score a point for like 6 minutes. Well, they didn't make a basket for like 6 minutes. Yeah. And they still was, extending their lead, locking up on D. Like, they was, shout out to her, man. She had her team ready, obviously.
Yeah, man. They a lot of people don't remember end of this regular season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they gave South Carolina a season. Gave them a game and took them to overtime. So, I'm not saying they finna go beat South Carolina because somebody they were talking about on HBCU out. But nah, man. But no, shout out to UAPB grad. Make sure I throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? I know, and assistant, man, Coach Yo. Also, man, we don't talk a lot about it enough, man. Bowling. The SWAC put out their bowling honors. Coach of the Year, Barry Doyle from Southern. Bowler of the Year, Savannah Razor from Alabama State. And Freshman of the Year was Miss Jada Gordon from Prairie View A&M. So congratulations to them on their accomplishments. Yeah, man, it was very well done and well, I don't know, received. I don't know what else to say after that. So
Much deserved.
much
Definitely.
deserved. There you go. There you go. Man, we got some stuff to talk about tonight, man. I do want to talk. We ain't gonna talk much baseball, but I do want to throw this out there, man. We reported on it before that Wilberforce was looking. Wilberforce University was teaming up with the Cincinnati Reds to bring baseball back after 80 years. They have succeeded. This was according to the article. I think the article is in HBCU Game Day. This was like a 7-year process. They started talking about this in 2016. But after 80 years, Wilberforce is back playing baseball. It's part of the RBI program. I think it's like return baseball to the inner city. I think that's what it's something like that. That's what they stand for. But yeah, man. So congratulations on that, man, to Wilberforce. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can
I know why you don't want to talk baseball though.
tell me about it.
What shirt you got on?
I got an A&M shirt on today.
Oh yeah, you didn't know who you was gonna root for this weekend or this past weekend whenever your boy Omar played
Omar
Alabama.
coming.
They
Omar
played
coming.
Alabama. Well, Alabama A&M wasn't scared of Omar because
They would.
they took two or three from. They took two or three from him.
I did see that, man. Speaking of that, and we're gonna talk about it. It's probably be this week. I'm still trying to get some of these spring dates, but we're gonna have to talk about it this week because the first games are like on April 1st.
Yeah,
Alabama A&M got a pretty interesting strategy when it comes to their spring game. For those of you who don't know, Alabama A&M spring game is April 8th at 10 a.m. in the morning. And I know you like 10 a.m. Why? But what they're doing, they're gonna do their spring game at 10 a.m. They have a softball game at 1. I think it's 12 or 1. I want to say it's 1 o'clock. And then they have the men's baseball game at 2. And you can go to all 3. And they're gonna have like inflatables, tailgating, and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be like a fan fair. You know what I'm saying? So
it sounds like they know how to host an event.
yeah, so we're gonna go check it out. And Chuck say Cardell Maynard is a character. Man, listen. I still say he was the best trash talker in the SWAC. Last year, this year, year before. I don't care. Argue with your mama. I'm just say it like that.
I don't know. It's last year. It was hard to not get it to Coach E-Rob. I'm just saying.
You know what? You know what?
I'm just saying.
Coach E-Rob was right. But it's hard. You actually got a good point. But nah, I like Coach May. I like, you know what I'm saying, both of them, man. And then the respect they have between each other, man. It's so genuine, man. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, Coach Maine. I'm looking forward to the spring game, see how it is. I'm trying to catch that one. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to scoot down to Montgomery, catch Alabama State spring game that following week too. So, you know what I'm saying, maybe find some things out. I'm trying to figure out when Tuskegee spring game. They ain't putting it up there. They ain't released it. So
they don't want nobody to come, man.
I know it ain't gonna be at night. I tell you that much.
You petty. I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna say
it ain't gonna be at night. It's gonna be by candlelight. That'll be about it.
Everybody remember the Titans when they had that
pulled
practice.
Up the light, yeah, put up, yeah. It'd be like drumline. They'll be in the honking.
Oh, yeah. That's how they gonna do the score.
Yeah. Flash the lights. What's the score? Boom, boom.
Oh, that's 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And flash the light once. That's 17 points. Okay.
Oh man. I know one thing. They're gonna ball and parlay after though. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely gonna do that.
It's gonna be nice. Speaking of football, man, stick with football. Howard make some moves. I say made some moves. Kind of shuffled up the coaching staff a little bit. They're
moving on.
Promoted their wide receiver coach, Lindsey Lamar. He is now the offensive coordinator. He actually played under Charlie Strong at USF as a wide receiver. Then went on to coach under him and was like a quality control coach. Then he came to I want to say he went to Lamar. Then he came to Howard. He's been at Howard, I think, the last 2 or 3 seasons as a wide receiver coach, and now he is the OC. So congratulations to him on that move. Also, Gregory McGee is the new quarterback coach, and Arthur Ray is the new O-line coach. So
Arthur Ray, that sounds like a mechanic.
Shade tree too. But yeah, man, they so it's a lot of it looks like a little youth movement, but Howard, man, I want to see how they do next year. Returning co-champs. I know we joke about it, but Howard made some noise, you know what I'm saying, athletics period. They still got to go against the one,
the guy,
the man in North Carolina Central over at the Eagles Nest, Davis Richard. I know he's probably rich, but I'm calling that man Richard.
Yeah, he's not from Louisiana, man. So
and I don't care, man. The way that dude played, that is rich. That Richard. I don't care what you say. But man, he, you know what I'm saying, we know he's a excellent dual threat. Obviously, he's a triple threat. He was named FCS Scholar Athlete of the Year. It was him and his I think it was a co-scholar athlete. It was I ain't think it looked the guy's name. I think it's Thomas Jones from Harvard. So, yeah.
See, I wish the SWAC would have never did that little co-champs, because I almost had a joke about being because he from the MEAC, he had to be a co-winner. Like, but I can't even say that no more. But kudos to him though, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't follow the Cardale Jones method. He did come to play school, and he apparently plays it pretty well too. We know he's, obviously, if not the best, one of the best quarterbacks in college football at the FCS level, especially. So
what our little messy friends say, he is the best dual threat quarterback on all levels. Well, not all levels, but all levels of college football. But nah.
Yeah,
but nah, man. Shout out to Davis Richard. That dude there, man. I'm looking forward to. I can't wait for football season. Now, I keep saying it, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Do you think that the SWAC should have kept their season in the spring?
Ooh, no. And the only reason why, I'm not gonna say the only reason why. One of the reasons why is if things were like they had been previously, where not a lot of guys were getting drafted and it didn't matter so much, I would say, that's fair. But with the way the SWAC has been, all the talent they've been producing, you got hit while the iron's hot, man. You got to, get them out there. Also, playing in the fall it allows them to, if they don't get picked up in the NFL draft, you still got the USFL and the XFL.
That's a good point. Yeah. And I obviously don't think they should play in the spring, because it takes away some of your options as far as non-conference games, especially. But I was just thinking about it from the standpoint of you're the only show, you know what I mean? And being that you're not tied to the FCS playoffs, you wouldn't be missing out on nothing there. You could still have the Celebration Bowl in the spring, but
if for that to happen, the MEAC would also have to be.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very valid point.
And then I think another thing about it, we talk about the spring, when they played the spring for 2020, if I'm not mistaken,
had a lot of opt-outs.
Not just that, what happened that made that even kind of work with COVID, not just with COVID. You gotta think March Madness was canceled.
That's true too.
So that's what March Madness baseball season
also.
Yeah, so basketball and baseball season were canceled. So you really were the only show.
That's
so
a very valid point.
Outside of
NBA, but the NBA had their
the NBA was on break too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. NBA you were on the show.
Outside of listen, I'm gonna tell you how bad it got.
Korean baseball.
Korean baseball.
Oh yes, sir. I was watching, dog.
Korea baseball. I knew them names.
I was watching. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, it got so bad during the pandemic. At one point in time, I was watching like Russian ping pong. Like I got a homeboy who lost some racks on a Russian ping pong game.
You know what? I could say I'm a degenerate. I ain't never been bad. No, I take that back. I've had first one I had was a point to not heads or tail. Yeah, I know. Listen, don't judge me. So, but yeah, that was just terrible. But yeah, that was I mean, good question about the spring football. Former Southern quarterback coach Jonathan Williams is now the offensive coordinator at Benedict College. Coach Berry reaching back to his former squad, you know what I'm saying, and pulling one of his, I guess, you know what I'm saying, co-workers.
Former
coaching teammate. Former co-workers, teammates.
Whatever.
Colleague. There you go. So
yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to see how that works out, because we know last year Benedict had one of, if not the best defense of any level in college football. Their offense necessarily wasn't on par with their defense, and so I'm wondering what can he bring over there to kind of try to, up the play of the offense to elevate their game a little bit. Because if they're able to put their offense and defense on the same level, I don't know who messing with them with that defense.
Yeah, I want to see how Coach Berry responds in year 2. He took over a team that had one win, something like that, and had them undefeated in the, with a bye in the playoffs. I know he wants to take that and just move on, and that's big. So, man, football,
and then maybe next year we can get that Benedict South Carolina State game.
Ooh, don't even get me started, man. Oh, don't get me started. I gotta check out the schedule, man. I gotta look and see like if Benedict and Tuskegee play or when they play. So yeah, check that out. Moving on to some basketball, man. I know the HBCUs are out of the tourney, pretty much all the tourneys. But man, I want to say shout out to everybody who's showing much support to all the HBCUs, man. Vice President Kamala Harris showed up at the game in the locker room to congratulate Howard's men. I saw at least for 24 hours. I saw Banks. Our man Banks was pulling hard for Howard. I don't know how hard he was pulling, but he said he was pulling for Howard.
And he at least made it look good.
Oh, Nick he come in and start. He mad. He still mad because I was talking about them Suns last night.
That's exactly what it is. But yeah, Banks at least made it look like he was rooting for Howard. I'll put it that way.
He said Pooh looked like a mofo named Benedict.
What is that profile picture though?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Nick out there.
That's a good point. That's Nick. That's a good point.
He out there. He in the Navy. You know how they is.
Not too much. My sister was in the Navy. Not too much.
Them Siemens. But yeah, man, it was a lot of support though, for real, for the HBCUs. Don Staley took on Lafayette, Norfolk State. And after the game, man, she went in and to the locker room. Well, actually, the press conference. She said that this was not a 16 seed. I need y'all to, this for next year. This is not a 16 seed. They are, too good. So, yeah, but
I mean, we
said it.
We've discussed this over and over, and I understand the whole RPI and all of that. I get all of your metrics and whatever you want to throw at me. I get it, bro. But I can say the same thing for other teams and other conferences.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of that part. But to me, it's crazy how when we look at MEAC or SWAC, we judge the whole conference. We say, oh, the SWAC is weak, and not look at the fact that Grambling and Alcorn single-digit losses. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what the bottom place or mid-place team does in the SWAC. If the top two teams are that good, the top two teams are that good. Conference USA was terrible this year. UAB was supposed to win the conference. They were terrible. Louisiana Tech was terrible. It was Western Kentucky, nowhere near as good as they normally are. FAU, 31-3. Nobody said FAU wasn't good because their conference was bad. They looked at their individual singular team and said and judged them based off what their individual team did. But when we talk about HBCUs, we want to judge the whole conference. We want to bring up the whole conference. That's just another way that you could diminish what these teams are doing.
I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and they brought up the metrics and stuff. I was like, okay, good point. I still had to go off eye test. The way I saw Grambling play, the teams I saw Grambling beat, they beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt didn't make the NCAA tournament. I think they possibly could have. They got hot. And the NCAA tournament, in my opinion, is who's hot now. Because if you start off 20 and I ain't gonna say 20, you win like 15 games, your first 15 games, and then you mix and match and struggle and stuff, and you end up with 20 wins, you might most likely not gonna make the tournament. If you hot, you hot. Vandy was hot. Grambling beat Vandy. Colorado made the NIT. Grambling beat Colorado. But then, they was like, well, they had some terrible losses to D2 schools. Okay. And I'm not taking away from that. I get that. I guarantee those D2 schools probably went to the D2 tournament. I don't know. I got to look it up. I'm making up stuff with that. But still.
But I'm just saying, like, and I get that they had bad losses. But I could bring up other teams in the NIT who had bad losses. So I mean, it just seems like we try so hard to nitpick and try to invalidate the resumes that some of these schools put up just to say, see, that's why they don't deserve to get in. Mm-hmm. But nobody's putting that same energy into saying why these teams should get in. And I saw someone say, well, Grambling they lost the game to Alcorn, so that's why they won. They didn't get the. Okay, cool. They had one shot to play. So why not? So basically, because they had one game versus Alcorn that they didn't win, they shouldn't get any postseason invitations. Like I just feel like at this point you're grasping at straws to say why they shouldn't deserve to get in. And part of it is you don't want a Grambling to beat a Colorado in the NIT. You know what I mean? So let's avoid that by not even put Grambling in the conversation.
You also had a terrible LSU team beat Arkansas, and Arkansas is in the Sweet 16 right now.
I mean, LSU beat Kansas State.
Yeah, they didn't, but they did. I get what you're saying.
They did, but they didn't. But they did. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying.
But you know what I'm saying? These teams, it's anybody can beat anybody. And I know I brought this up a little bit last week when I was talking last Thursday when we were talking to HU Powership seeding, the way they do the seeding. It's always SWAC, MEAC at a 16, 15 seed or a random 14. At some time, we, like you just said, we have to put a little bit more respect on HBCUs, because if you get them in at a 14 or a 13, where they probably should be, they can make a run.
Yeah, but like I just said, they don't want that.
Yeah,
and I mean, and the same could be said for some of these other schools. Obviously, we're not focusing on them; we're focused on HBCUs. But the real problem here is the Power Five conferences. You know what I mean? They're the ones who are driving the revenue. They're the ones who are, ultimately gonna get the final say in a sense. And whenever they want more of their teams in, someone has to be the one to suffer. And it's gonna start with HBCUs. Then after that, it's gonna be the other lower, G5 or whatever you want to call it, mid majors. They're going to be next, and then eventually it's going to be try to be an all-power conference thing. That's why I brought up when they talked about the NCAA expansion. giving both regular season and
Mm-hmm.
conference tournament champions automatic bids. Because then you would see a Grambling Alcorn and Texas Southern all get a chance. Or you would see, a Howard and Howard won both.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't, but you know what I'm saying? But you would be able to give more teams a chance, and then you could really see the actual best teams, not just the team who won 3 games or who got lucky and won their tournament.
Or
So
who got in on a technicality.
Fairleigh Dickinson, yeah. So I mean, those situations, like there's been times where teams around here have lost 5 games in the season, and a player foul out in a conference tournament and you don't make the tournament, but you've only lost 5 games all year. Grambling situation, they got in foul trouble against Texas Southern and they don't make the tournament because they got in foul trouble. You argue because they got and because of PJ Henry too, but most they got in foul trouble. So, but one game ultimately determines whether or not you make it to the tournament, instead of what your body of work for the whole season was.
Yeah, and this one bid league stuff, man. Come on, put the best teams in. Put your best teams in. Yeah. So
give all of them at least 2 bids. I mean, at least 2.
Yeah. Back to Dawn Staley. We was talking about, saying, what she said about the 16 in Norfolk State. She also went to the locker room, was talking to Norfolk State big Kiara Wheeler, and she was giving her big praise, man. Basically, hold on, I got the video without sound though, but she was giving her big praise, man, bigging her up, telling her, we used to chop down, bigs like, like you was doing, and really, giving her major props, man. Then Dawn didn't just stop there, man. She went on and she wore Cheney State jersey, representing Hall of Famer Yolanda Laney, from that Cheney State team. So man, she's been giving like a lot of kudos and stuff to HBCU. So that goes back to kind of the original point about just showing that support, man, during this tournament.
Can we start clarifying when we say the Cheney State? Because everybody keeps saying the first HBCU to make a Final Four, which is true
in Division I. First one, the only one to make a
Division I, but they bingo. That's the part. It's not just the fact that they made the Final Four; they won a game in the Final Four
and made it to the championship.
Like they made it to the championship. People just keep diminishing it till they made the Final Four. No, they made the championship game.
Yeah,
they were the runner up for the entire and they were number one in the country for a long time this season. Shout out to C. Vivian Stringer, though, man.
Yeah, man, that was dope.
Don always showing love, man. That's as bad as the LSU fan to me doesn't want to like her. It's hard not to like her.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
She always showing love for everybody, man.
Yeah. This was another question that popped up, man, and this all kind of stems around about the seeding and stuff. But this question popped up, and I got to bring up this. I ain't gonna bring it on screen, but somebody, hold on, let me go to it. I sent it to you too when we was talking about. But the question: why is it important? Why are we even focused on HBCUs in the NCAA tournament? Why is it important? Why is it important if they have success and stuff like that? And I had to resort back because I knew this. I knew the correlation, and I mentioned before I mentioned last episode actually there is a correlation to when your sports team is successful in any arena, whether it be football or basketball or baseball, when your team is successful or make any kind of run, it changes, enrollment changes and stuff like that. So Calvin Sykes at C Sykes Sports U on Twitter posted it's from a magazine, and the article reads or his caption reads Gulf Coast admissions, and he's talking about Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast admission application increased 27.5% after their Sweet 16 run. Butler increased 50% after their 2 Final Fours. George Mason inquiries went up 350% after beating Villanova in 2011. And he says athletics fills beds and builds new buildings. So
we've always said it, man.
yeah.
At like athletics is the window to your university. If you university as like a store on Rodeo Drive or somewhere, you know what I mean. Athletics is what's in the window. It's what draws you into the store.
Yeah.
It decides whether or not you want to enter that store or not. And so if you don't care about it, if you don't put money, if you don't put resources, if you don't put energy into your university is just gonna suffer. I'm not saying you can't be a thriving university with poor athletics, but any university is better with good athletics. No matter, even Harvard and Princeton and all those,
Right.
They're better. Like, I'm not saying Princeton's enrollment's finna go up. You know what I mean? Because I mean they're pretty selective, but I'm pretty sure their inquiries are gonna go up. More people are gonna try to get into Princeton. So I mean, it's free marketing.
Yeah. When you can, and this all goes back to the same thing we just talked about, seeding. When you can have a team who, even if instead of putting in Coach Jones from Norfolk State was talking about this in HBCU Hoops Weekly, about instead of putting them as a 16 seed, he would rather be in a play. It's not a play-in anymore. The first 4 game. He'd rather be in one of the first 4 games.
You can still
that
be
way,
16 seed though.
Well, they do have the. I think they have the 9.
11. It's 11.
11. Either way, he's saying if you do that, what that allows is you play that game and you get paid. Now you have 1 unit associated with your team. You play another game, you've got 2 units. And he says it's like a 6-year cycle. So they make the tournament the next year. Now you don't start off at 1 unit, you start off at 3 units. So whatever the regular pay for a school for that 1 game, you get 3 times that.
Yeah.
So he's like, it benefits them more to be in the I'm gonna say playing. We know,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
to be in that game. He said because that way, he said you get more exposure, you get more practice time and stuff. It just helps the schools more. He said, but when you put them at, and then most of these teams are not 16 seeds. But if you put them, you can put a 5. If you take any regular 5 seed and just put them at a 16, the game may be closer. But you playing the number 1 team, you're most likely gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's. I don't know. I get the principle behind it and the money aspects behind it, and for that in itself, I think it will be beneficial. However, for the perception of HBCU athletics and HBCU basketball, I don't know if it's good, because the casual fan is going to associate them with being barely making the tournament. And so they're going to associate it with, the same thing we're hearing now about HBCU basketball. You know what I mean? They don't deserve to be in. They're not that good. All these kind of things. And it's just going to perpetuate that same negativity that was already associated with HBCU basketball if we're one of the last 4 every time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get the benefits of it. I just don't know if that's good for the perception of but at the same time, do you really care if you're making more money? I mean,
another question, because this was another debate all weekend. Should there be a new option explored? Meaning, should there be a HBCU invitational or something of the sorts? Because when you've got a school like Grambling, you've got schools like Alcorn got the NIT, but you got schools like that, what I'm saying?
Norfolk and NCCU, and I mean, my question would be, All right.
If it's done, and I want to throw caveats. It's done right. The schools don't have to pay to be in these tournaments, and sponsorship is there.
Yeah, I was just gonna assume that we weren't, bringing all that into it. But my only question is, all right, let's take this year for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, argument can be made that, well, Howard was the best team in the MEAC. I don't think you really got to argue that. So they wouldn't be in this HBCU Invitational. Texas Southern wouldn't be in this HBCU Invitational, and one of the co-champions of the SWAC wouldn't be in this HBCU Invitational. So is it just so we can give our HBCUs more exposure and more because what are we trying to show here? Because to me, it's not like the Celebration Bowl where you have the best versus the best.
I get you.
You see what I'm saying? You're having kind of a best of the rest. That's true. So what are you marketing as? What are you selling this as? You can't say it's the Black National Champion when your two best teams aren't even going to be there. Well, arguably your two best teams aren't going to be there because your conference tournament champions won't be there. So in theory, your two best teams aren't going to be there. So and in a year like this, you could have three of your best teams not be there. So I just don't really know how you would sell it, how you would get consistency year in and year out. Because what happens if we get two NIT, all right, let's say Central would have won the MEAC this conference tournament, and they would have went to the NCAA tournament. So it would have been Texas Southern and Central in the NCAA and Alcorn and Howard in the NIT. Now you got four of the top teams not in this HBCU Invitational. So how do you get what I'm saying? I think at this point it'll just be to kind of let everybody else play another game. And I think that kind of gets solved in a sense with these HBCU legacy games and all-star games. You know what I mean? And kind of that kind of.
That's fair. That's fair. I actually didn't think of it like that. That's actually pretty good. It's a good answer. I can't argue with that, man. When you right, you're right.
That ain't often, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, our wives ain't on this podcast, man. So we right off.
Big facts.
All right. North Carolina A&T. As we know, they're in the coaching search. They basically played this entire season with an interim coach. It's been some interesting names on their coaching search, though. I think they didn't necessarily say how many they started with or who they're all the way down to. But so that actually, you know what, that name did come up with somebody else making the conversation. I know you was joking. Somebody actually did say that. The problem with that is they were saying that they didn't they don't. I'm trying to think how to put it. A&T is not probably going. Patrick Ewing is the kind of coach who needs time, and A&T may not be willing to give him that time.
That ain't no lie.
So, but here are some names that have come up. Possibly sticking with the current interim coach, Philip Shumpert.
I think he did a pretty good job.
He did a pretty good job. Consider, all things considered.
Yeah.
Frank Haith of Memphis. Who's a Memphis assistant. BJ McKee, who's a Wake Forest assistant. Steve Smith, who's a Florida State assistant. And Rasheed Wallace, the tech machine himself. Rasheed Wallace, that's the name. But
that'll be a good hire, though. I think
he coached high school ball in Durham. He also was on Memphis staff with Penny Hardaway for a while. So he does have coaching experience. This wouldn't just be let me get a NBA player to come in and jump in. No, he actually does have some coaching experience. So that's another one. So
that's an interesting name right there. I don't know. I can see it, but I don't know if they're gonna go that route. But it's been some. I don't know if you want to call it rumors. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's been some alumni, some fans of Southern talking about the possibility of them having an opening as head coach there.
Yeah. That was it was some rumblings at the end of
That's
the
a good
season.
way to put it. Rumblings. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, his contract is up at the end of the or whatever, and some fans are calling for it to not be renewed. Take it for what you worth, what you want. But this name just came to my head when you were talking about NC North Carolina A&T. And if Southern was to possibly move on from their head coach, what about a guy who, played at Southern, has coached in the NBA,
Ooh, I know where you're going. Go ahead.
coached at Power 5 college schools, you know what I mean? Still around the game as an analyst today, you know what I mean? From Louisiana, you know what I mean? Avery Johnson.
Avery, I think he got a raw deal at Bama. I honestly do.
Yeah, that recruiting stuff what killed him, the Colin Sexton thing.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think that, and Dave said he think that'd be a great. Hold on, Dave said he think that'd be a good hire. I do too.
But
Dave, hold on. I do, Dave, I was gonna put the other comment up. I agree. But my daddy might be watching. I can't say the words tonight. Dave said he said you smart.
yeah.
He said that was completely different angle that he wouldn't have thought of. I wouldn't have thought of. I ain't even think like that, but that was a good one. But yeah, man. Avery Johnson.
It's another name. That's another name though. Me personally.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Dave, you good. He said sorry for my language. Oh no, you good. We talk like that all the time. Just I can't
so I wish G was watching because this would really be for him. There's a Baton Rouge legend who just stepped down as a high school coach. Scotlandville's head coach. He coached for 16 seasons at Scotlandville. He had a record of 600. Oh, my bad. At just at Scotlandville, he had a record of 482 and 83. He had 8 state championships, 6 runner-ups in 16 seasons.
Wow.
If you want to keep a Baton Rouge legend, like, I know it's a step up going from high school to that level, but you want to talk about ties to the city, can recruit, get the fan base support, and inject some new life and new blood into the program, bruh. Carlos Sample is your guy.
Yeah. That'll be good. That'll be dope. I don't know what to say, man. That's.
I mean, like Javante
482 and 83.
Yeah,
you got 399 more wins than you do losses.
For his overall record is 676 and 198. Yeah, like he's put pros out, bro. Like he's got multiple D1 Power 5 players playing right now in NCAA, man, dude.
When you say Scotlandville, I knew then. I don't know much about like what I'm saying, like Louisiana.
Javante Smart, Reese Beekman, Damon Jones, like they put dudes out.
Damon Jones. I mean that dude legit like 7-something. I took a picture with him and I felt like me and
like 6'11", 7'1".
Me and my son, me and my son. I took a picture with, you know what I'm saying. You know you do the little bro, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My arm around his waist. No, my arm around his waist, like.
Oh nah.
Hey, I was talking, but hey, you know what I'm saying. I did the Keanu Reeves where you put your arm around, but you don't touch him.
Yeah.
I'm looking up at him. All right, sir. You have a good season, sir.
Looking like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and shit.
Man, I'm looking like Honey Boo Boo. That's what I'm looking like.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Speaking of parting ways with coaches, man. Unfortunately, man, Grambling State, man, parts ways with their women's basketball coach, Freddie Murray. So they are going to be looking for a new women's coach, man. It's got to be tough. Coaching women's basketball in the SWAC.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you got to go against you got to go against Coach Reed. You got to go against Coach Thornton at UAPB. You got to go against I don't even know his name, but Southern coach who stepped up and they looked like Southern stepped up and did their thing, you know what I'm saying, especially in the tournament. And then Alabama State coach.
Yeah, I kind of feel for Murray. He had a good run, man.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago when he had Chicago Hill. And she took that team. She made that team. She 2 quadruple doubles while she was there. Made ESPN multiple times. I think they made the NIT or the tournament one. You know, like they.
Funches.
She yeah. But yeah, she. So I just kind of feel like he been there 7 years. I kind of just feel like it's time for a new voice. It's time for some new blood. He kind of ran his course there. So best of luck to him going forward.
Carlos Funch, that's who it is. Appreciate you, Tor. Tor Williams said Funches. Carlos Funches. That's the Southern coach.
Yeah, Southern coach. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I want to stick with the ladies though. It is women's. We hadn't talked much about Women's Appreciation Month, but speaking with you know what I'm saying, with the ladies, fish gymnastics historic meet last. I think it was on Thursday. I forget who they took on. Greenville. Let me see who they took on.
I know they hosted the first
host.
HBCU.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to see who they won it. Who was the meet against? So Greenville. That was right. Greenville University. But Fisk had a home meet, the first home meet for HBCU. They took on Greenville University. Now it was a home meet for them, but they did use neighboring Belmont University College in Nashville. They used their gym, had this meet. They ended up winning 190.575 to 183.875. So congratulations to those ladies.
They blew them out.
Yeah, Morgan Price, the phenomenal freshman phenom. I said phenomenal freshman phenom. But she was the.
I ain't even catch it at first.
She was the first place all around with a 39.175 score. So, man,
kudos to them. Congratulations, you women. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I wondered did they have the band up in there low, like in between events and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While the judges calculating the scores, just letting them blow real quick. You know what I mean? I could see that being lit.
Yeah. Bro, I can't wait. I can't wait for I'm looking forward to when they could get this when they season start, because I definitely gotta go. I told my wife about it and she was like, when it start again so we can go. So you looking at Chuck with his yeah, I looked at it. So Chuck, boy, Chuck be knowing stuff, boy. I wish so. If y'all are on all those on YouTube, man, y'all, I know y'all hear us talk about Chuck a lot. Our encyclopedia. Chuck be dropping like facts, but they like paragraph facts and stuff. We be looking like, golly. I'm like, man, that Chuck be knowing. I don't know how Chuck keep all this information.
Hey, I'm telling you,
that dude got.
I'm telling you how I got introduced to Chuck. Listening to our boy Fox. Chuck used to call in. They'd be talking about some random, like we are. It's just some random, D2 baseball coach or something. You know what I mean? Chuck calling. Yeah, I remember that guy whenever he was going to school at University of Arkansas Monticello, and he come dropping all these facts. And it get to the point where people like, you can't even say nothing back to it. It's just the only thing you can say is, bro, how you know this? Like, yeah. But yeah, man, we went to the same high school. Just
Chuck got he got some quick Google fingers. You know how Twitter fingers.
I think he got a what's it called, photographic memory.
Yeah, he might do. That's that boy, Chuck. Boy, appreciate you, Chuck. Hey, did you see the FAMU cheerleader talking trash?
Yes, I loved it.
It was hilarious. For those of y'all who hadn't seen it, here it is for you.
Messiah! Your coach say you suck! That was his words. Take him out of the game, coach! I'm getting a little bit old for this. Ref, you don't gotta take that, ref. You don't gotta take that, ref. You don't gotta take that. If I was you, I wouldn't let him talk to me like that. That was real aggressive. Like, he need a tag. He's not a shooter. He's not a shooter either. 33 ain't made a shot all game.
And if I was 33, I would feel some type of way. If I was 33 on Messiah, I would feel some type of way.
Your coach said you suck.
Hey, his words, not mine.
Ref, I wouldn't let him talk to me like that. You need to give him a thing.
I would say, as a former hooper, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, dog. Like, the fact that not only does she know the game, and not only is she in tune to the game, but she knows the game, and she's, you know what I mean, she got that swag, and that she knows, you could tell she used to hoop, because she talk trash like a hooper. Yeah. Man, that's, I need more of that, bro. They need to mic her up for every game.
Hey, not just that. So I didn't get the clip, but FAMU beat Bethune softball, and they had like this little stroll. I mean, and I was looking, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it looked like a sorority, you know what I'm saying, stroll.
Yeah.
Some of them might be in, you know what I'm saying, but they did a stroll, and Bethune came back and beat them the next day and said, we don't stroll, we just get the dub. I was like, oh, I love this trash talk. I love it. I love it.
Hey, speaking of, I know you've seen Grambling softball dugout.
Oh man, you don't need that. See, when we talk about HBCU culture and we talk about how it's different and stuff like that, this is the stuff we talk about. The trash talk, the banter back and forth, the as you talk about the Grambling talk, like they literally, they don't have a walkout song. They was like,
they was the walkout song.
They was the walkout song, the chant and stuff, man.
The whole time in the dirt, man. They had a chant for everything, man.
And I've seen some other chants and stuff like from, you know what I'm saying, some PWIs and some other Power 5 schools, but like that was like, bro, I was hyped. I was like, okay, let's go. I'm ready to go to a game or something, but
and I say this though, the fact that these videos keep going viral goes to a point that we talked about a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. They want the culture, but they want where they at.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick said, "Ain't you?" He said, "You hopped." He meant hooped. He trying to.
I hopped a couple times whenever I broke my ankle. I hopped all over the place when I broke my ankle.
Let's start at. Yeah. I know this is. I know we sports related, but I do want to bring this up because this is important. And it affects. It does affect. School we just talked about, FAMU, but as those of you who may not know, Ron DeSantis is pushing in the Congress, the legislative Congress in Florida is pushing this Stop Woke bill, and I think it's like House Bill 999 or something like that. But he's pushing it, and it's basically to stop DEI or diversity inclusion. Diversity, was it diversity? Equity, yeah, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This bill, on surface, threatens the Divine Nine because they have in a lot of the mission statements is DEI language. It affects all D9s at all public institutions in Florida. And it affects FAMU as a whole, being the only HBCU in the only public HBCU in Florida. For those of you who are in Florida, please speak up. Do what you can. Speak out. call your congressman. There's a thing called the Five Calls app. You can reach out to your local congressman. Tell them that you don't want this. They have to listen. Use your voting power. And a lot of people, believe it don't work. Man, listen, you got to step up some kind of way. But yeah, we can't have this happen because this again, like I said, this affects FAMU. So
I say this for all the people who claim that they support HBCUs and they claim that they love HBCUs, put your money where your mouth at, or put your mouth where your mouth at. Go say something to somebody. Call a congressman, email, whatever you gotta do to make sure that your voice is heard and saying that you don't want this. Because at the end of the day, bro, this affects me in Louisiana. It affects you where you at. It ain't just about Florida, man. It's about all HBCUs and all of us as a whole, bro.
I will say, if it happens in Florida, it'll start happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm. All it takes is one.
Yeah. So it's gotta be done. It's gotta be stopped. So nip it in the bud while we can. And let's move on, man, because as we just said, they want what we got. They just don't want us. So
more sad news though, FAMU.
Yeah. FAMU lost one of what is a great supporter, and Chuck brings it up, Kofi Hemingway. I personally didn't know him, and I know you said you didn't know him, but he said R.I.P. Kofi Hemingway of the Florida A&M show O and G Strike Zone, and FAMU Rattler faithful, who was a Marching 100 alumnus. Chuck says he actually just met him last year, so he met him at the Grambling and FAMU game in 2022 in Grambling. I've seen a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I'll just say, I know a lot of people who have showed support, posted pictures of him, stories and stuff. I didn't personally know him. I know we were going to look to reach out to ONG prior to this, just to kind of establish a relationship, talk about FAMU on the show. But from everything I've seen, man, solid dude. Our heart, condolences goes out to FAMU, his family, his friends, those who knew him personally. So
yeah, I never met him, but I followed the pod and him on Twitter and some of it. And like Chuck said, that dude was FAMU through and through, bro.
Right.
I mean, definitely one of the most vocal and most supportive people of that university. And I know he was close with a lot of people that we close with.
Right.
So I know a lot of people are taking it a lot harder than we are, but definitely want to send our condolences to all those people who knew him very well, BJ and all those others. Yes, it's sad for the Rattler community, but it's sad for HBCUs as a whole whenever, an enthusiast of that magnitude leaves us so soon, man. But rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family.
Yeah. I don't want to end on a sad note, man. We got anything else before we get up out of here? Get ready to get up out of here.
I mean, we got more baseball tomorrow.
Who we got midweek? Anything? Any matchups that stand out?
I wouldn't say stand out, but we got a little something.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is Grambling 2-1 and SWAC right now. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's another thing that's weird about the whole thing, because they played SWAC teams, but they were non-conference because I don't know.
Hey man, you play it on your schedule, bro. That's all you can do.
Yeah. We didn't talk about this, but we can preview it and talk about it next week. I'm looking at HBCUsports.com, and SWAC has a long way to go to get out of the one big league stage, says commissioner.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, we'll have to look at that, touch on that next time.
I think that's obviously the goal,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how soon we'll get there.
Yeah. We gotta do another. God, football season is getting too close. Not close enough though. Howard released their schedule. Man, I gotta go through and get these schedules so we can, you know what I'm saying, start doing some more, you know what I'm saying, looking at some of these teams. I do have one good story. Delaware State now has their lacrosse team now has a new home as far as where they can play the lacrosse and the women's soccer team, because they were sharing the field with the football team, but they acquired the school itself in 2021 acquired Wesley College, and Wesley College had a football team, so now they use that field for the lacrosse and women's soccer team. So, you know what I'm saying, shout out to them, man. They said it's a little bit more intimate feel. So, man, that's dope.
So
man.
there's a school in New York, not HBCU, but it could be HBCU related. So
St.
I got
Francis.
Jamie had posted this. Yes. So St. Francis decided that they were gonna stop field and sports altogether, sports programs altogether, 21 sports programs gone at the end of the season. So the Northeastern Conference has an opening. And I've seen people throwing schools out that could possibly, fill that void. Delaware State being mentioned. The fact that St. Francis didn't have football. I've seen people mention Coppin, so it doesn't mess up how the Northeastern football schedule would be. So it's put, and I know a lot of the Northeast Conference. I don't want to say fans, but school fans of schools in that conference are petitioning for Howard. Probably not gonna happen, but it's just that's who they want. So very curious to see how the MEAC is impacted by this, if at all, and what the domino effect could be. Could we see some CIAA schools jumping up to the MEAC, or would those MEAC
lose
schools,
one more? If they lose one more member,
yeah, if especially if it's a football member, yeah. So if Delaware State leaves, you either gonna have to drop down or you're gonna have to bring schools up. So I mean that is very interesting what's gonna happen and how the dominoes are gonna fall.
Mm-hmm. Or you're gonna have to
so full on to who?
Hampton.
Oh, that ain't happening.
I know.
That ain't happening.
Hampton. No, I'm just playing.
That ain't you might well join. You might well just join the SWAC at that point. And do a full-on merger.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening either.
You might go kiss up to Eddie George before you kiss up to Hampton.
That's true. That's true. Tennessee State. I don't know. Well, I think Tennessee State. I have to look that up. I think it's legally they're required to be in the OVC.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because of that's right. Yeah, so
it's gonna be tough. They're gonna have to go pull somebody up, man. Don't have to. It makes too much sense for that to happen. Too much sense. But hey, we'll be back.
Out to Campbell. My bad.
Campbell.
I know they're not, but I'm just saying
it'd be worth it. I think it'd be worth it to reach out to Campbell. It's just like it's funny. SIAC, all HBCU except for Spring Hill College. Spring Hill College, it down in Mobile. That's probably the most Caucasian thing that you can have. Spring Hill College, it's a Jesuit school too. So it is
so
strictly
they really stick out like a sore thumb.
I went there for Upward Bound, and it's funny because when we had black students, like they had black students there, we knew if it was a male black students, it was like you play baseball or basketball. That literally, that's how you know what I'm saying. They be like, man, what you mean basketball? That's how it was, man. So one of them schools, man. One of them schools. But they in the SIAC. So they getting all that exposure. They got a black. That's the school. I got a black friend.
No, they just boy, you look at your dad and watch this show. Boy, you look at your dad, man. They charging that boy 75 a G, man.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, man. We'll be back on Thursday. Another episode of HBCU Hour. We might have to bring a guest on, man. We might have to bring you know what? I'm gonna reach out to somebody won an award recently. I want to talk to him. We ain't talked to him. We ain't talked to him in a minute. I need to talk to my boy.
He been acting funny.
He been acting. I have to tell him, man. You need, I know how I get. I know I get up to. Hey, somebody said you acting like you went to Grambling. I bet he come on in. I bet he
Chill
come
out.
on.
Chill out.
Here we go. But hey, we'll be back like we never left. See y'all on Thursday.